Hello and welcome back to Kyusha Style Tuning. In today's episode I'm going to be showing you how you can make a hot rod style sign, all worn and weathered, just with a bit of vinyl graphics and some old paint and some sandpaper. Okay, so you're going to need a few things to get started. You need a applicator to actually put your vinyl graphic onto the panel, decent craft knife. I like to use this one Norton with a 10A blade, nice and retractable so you don't cut yourself. A pair of scissors, just trimming, masking, etc. And a small tape measure for positioning the actual graphic on the panel. When you get the actual vinyl graphic made, you're going to have it made with a reverse cut, so all the actual graphic is actually taken away from the actual vinyl, leaving just the actual backing instead of the other way around. So then you can actually use this as a template. You can have these made all in one piece usually, but my vinyl plot is not big enough to do it all in one, so I've made them all in three, like so. So it looks something like that. So I'm going to put some application tape on these in a second, and then we'll get them on the panel and we'll do the next stage. If you get your graphics made at a decent graphics company, they should come with application tape on them already. It's just a case of actually line it on there like that, squeezing it down, making sure you cover the whole of your graphic. Take your knife and trim round. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, so you're only using this as a mask. This is a panel I'm going to be using. It's just an old door off the Nissan. You can see it's pretty scabby along the bottom here. Scabby marks and rust spots, which is fine. It's the sort of look I want to go for. I want to go for that sort of real rat look sort of style on it. So I'm going to just set you up and then lay the graphics on there. Right, so the first thing you want to do is give the actual panel a bit of a clean, remove any grease and dirt. I don't mind if the paint is actually slightly rough and got overspray and all sorts of stuff on it, because I want that sort of look, just to remove any excess dirt and grease. It's quite dirty. Just using a normal body degreaser and panel prep to remove any excess dirt. Okay. Get my first graphic, make sure it's the right way around. So I'm going to position it probably around there, somewhere around there I think, tucking into that panel, into that crease there, and then the top part will probably go something along there. Bottom probably around there. I think that'll be quite cool. Okay. You can measure this if you want to get it exactly where you want it to be. I'm just going to eyeball it, so I want that slightly rough sort of look. In this case, you're just removing your backing paper. I'm going somewhere about there. And carefully peel off your backing paper. I don't mind if it sort of lifts up here and there, because I want it to look worn and weathered. So when we use our paint, we just spray it on really lightly. Give it a sort of feathered worn look. Okay, that part. Quite nice of that rusty spots underneath there. Again, you can measure this. I'm just going to eyeball it. Yeah, the rust spot through there look quite nice, I think. So then I'll feather the paint back. I mean, that looks all peeled off. Again, using the squeegee just to get it in the right place. Peel off the application tape. Again, just position it by eye. Somewhere around there, I think. So what we're going to have to do, all these gaps here, we're going to have to mask all these off with a little bit of masking tape, just so we don't get any overspray on there, but it doesn't matter if you do anyway, if you want that sort of rough sort of look. Just push all the edges down, but then, like I say, it doesn't really matter too much. So the look that I'm going to go for is going to be a sort of worn, weathered look anyway. Okay, we'll get some masking tape and some paper. We'll mask off this area here around this, and then we'll get our spray paint. So I'm just going to mask off these little areas with just a normal bit of masking tape. Careful not to go over the actual graphic. I'm going to use some more magazines just to mark off each side. Right, so once you're happy with all your masking in your vinyl graphic position and everything, it's time to paint. Now I'll be using a high coat double acrylic paint. It's a direct gloss, goes on quite nice. It's Nissan colour, of course, white 531. So I'll give that a good shake up for a good 5-10 minutes. It's quite cold in here, so I might probably stick it in some hot water just so it sprays on a little bit easier. So I'll give that a shake for 5 minutes, and then we'll just do a nice light dust coat. We're not going for a heavy coat, we're only going for a dust coat to give it a nice sort of a worn, sort of antique sort of look. Just a nice light, splattery sort of coat. Doesn't matter if it looks rough or splattery or, you know, worn. You want to get some areas that are lighter than others, some areas that are darker than others, to give it that sort of worn look. We'll go over the actual finished thing with a little bit of sandpaper as well, just to make it look a little bit more worn in some edges. Okay, let that dry for 5-10 minutes, and then put another coat on. As it's pretty cold, I'm just going to use a little bit of heat just to dry the paint off a little bit. Okay, what we'll do now is demask it all and see what we've got. There we go, not bad at all. Paint is still a little bit wet, so I'm going to let that dry for another 10-15 minutes. And then we're going to lightly sand some areas See if we can sand through, maybe on the rust bits, make that stand out a little bit more. Make it look a bit more aged and feathered and weathered. Look, it's nice and dry now. It took about 10 minutes. I had to put a little bit of heat on with the heat gun again, just to dry it off. Like all these faded areas here, just got a little bit of 80 grit. I'm just going to go in and scuff up the edges. Just give you that extra sort of worn look. So I just went over the whole thing with an 80 grit just to age it up a little bit, put some scratches and marks in. Looks like it's been, you know, worn and through years of weathering and car washes and dirt and scratches, and just make it just generally battered. So what I'll do now is I'll just give it a quick wipe over a little bit of pan wipe, get rid of some dust on it. Quick and simple little job, just use with some standard aerosol paint. You could use any paint, you could use some enamel and brush it on by hand if you haven't got aerosols, or you can even go mad and do some little airbrushing and put some shadows and drop shadows and bits and pieces on there. But for what I want and what the sort of look and a quick easy sort of hot rod rat look, I think that works quite well. I'll just give you a close-up look. There you go, I'm just going to close up for you so you can see the actual scarring on the letters and how worn it looks. Just a quick rubbing over with an 80 grit gives it that worn sort of look. The paint was quite soft still, so give it that sort of torn edged as well. So it's like it's been on there for years, it's battered and dirty. You can go mad and do drop shadows if you wanted to with an airbrush. No matter what paint you use really, just as long as you go for the look you want, whatever's easy for you. I'm going to wipe this on the wall, see how it looks in the garage. So again, the door's all hung up in the garage. Would look ideal on the side of a shop truck. But yeah, pretty pleased with that, way it's come out. I think the white needs to weather down a little bit more. A little bit of overspray on it from the odd job here and there, just to give it that more of a weathered look. Looks a little too bright at the moment. If you found this video interesting, please drop me a comment below. Tell me what you think. And if you'd like a vinyl graphic or anything similar making up, just drop me a line below. I'm sure that could be arranged. Please like, comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you again soon.